Welcome to our session on excellent client service. You will see that we are presenting to you different things that you can do to increase your service to your client because the better your client is serviced by you, the more your turnover can increase. And the moment your turnover increases, your earnings increase, and that can change your lifestyle or the way you live even more. Well, we are going to talk today specifically about getting to know your client, and I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that we have gathered through the years and ways that we can really get to know our client. Now, you might have met your client in person or you might have met her online, but either way, you need to now get to know exactly who she is because what you want to do is you want to target market to her. That means I don't want to bother her with things that she is not interested. I want her to know that when she opens a message from me, she will see something that she likes and she will enjoy her experience. Now, what I like to do is I like to gather the following information from my client. I want to know who she is. I want to know what she likes. I want to know how she shops. In honey language, does she like to come to one of my live events? Does she prefer a catalog? Does she prefer me sending her suggestions? Is she one that works through the PDF? Those are all things that I need to know. Is she the kind of client that likes things to match? Or does she prefer things to be mixed and match? Now, that is very important. If she's a matchy kind of a client and she orders one of the items on her order is sold out, I want to check with her before I continue the order. I don't want to sit with orders that she is not happy with just because one pair of earrings were not available. I also want to make sure I know what her favorite colors are. That will allow me to make different suggestions to her. What is her preferences? Does she like big earrings? Does she like bangles, watches, and sunglasses only? If she wears a necklace, is it a long or a big necklace, a small necklace, fine jewelry? What is her style? What is her shoe size? I want to know if she wears a flat and a high heel is a different shoe sizes. What shoes does she prefer? She prefers only maybe flat or small heels. What is her jewelry preference? What is the, a perfume preference? I would like to know what is her perfume that she uses. I also would like to know in my catalog, in what perfume range does that fall, and how can I suggest some of the other notes in that same category so that she can get similar perfumes that is to her liking easily recommended by me. Now, one of the things that you need to know is a woman will have anything from 3 to 5 different kinds of perfumes on a period in her life. And all depending on the mood that she's in for the day, she will choose her specific perfume. So if she likes fruity tones, I'm going to go to my catalog and see what other perfumes are in the fruity tone category, and I can then recommend that to her. But once she has picked her preference, I want to write that on her card, and I'm going to talk to you about the client database card just now. And then the repeatables. Does she buy the collagen? Does she use the Miracle Bee? Those kind of things, because I want to know exactly what I can market to her and when. So now I've got a lot of information. Now the important part is I need to transfer that. And the transfer of the information is so super important. So I'm obviously, first of all, going to transfer information to my phone. And I am writing down details like her name, her surname, where I would deliver to her, maybe the place that she is working at, because that gives me an idea of the size of the network that she can expose to me. And right next to her name, I've got a couple of quick icons that I use to help me know who this client is. I use those circle dots that has got the specific color. So let's say my client only wears black and white. I mean, I've got the most stunning, stylish client, but she just does black and white and she pulls it off brilliantly. So I'm going to put right next to her name a black dot and a white dot. And then I know that's her color preference. Maybe she is a purple and a pink lady. Then I want to put purple, pink, and maybe white. The next icon that I put right next to it is the shoe size. So that would be a 5 or a 6. And let's say maybe it's all depending on the type of shoe. I would put 5/6. That will give me an indication that I really need to be careful when I choose a shoe size. And the last icon that I put next to her name is an L, M, or a S for small, medium, and large. That helps me to know what is the size of the handbag that she prefers. Let's say small is those small little body bags. A medium is a normal medium sized bag, which is about the size of an average ruler or actually smaller than a ruler. And then those big bags are those like big bags where you can put the kitchen sink in it. Now, why is it important for me to know? She might look at a catalog somewhere. She might pick up something on social media. She places an order with me. The very first thing I do is I check the size of the handbag and I see this is a small bag. I can see immediately on my contact that she is an L. She only likes large handbags. I'm going to send her a message and say, hi, I know you prefer a large handbag. Did you see that this is a very tiny bag? And she might reply to me, yo, you are so clever. You know me so well. This is actually a gift for my niece. Aha, problem solved. And I know I'm not going to have an unhappy client or a return. The last thing that I'm now going to do is I'm going to take my Honey database cards, and what I'm going to do right after this video, I will send you a PDF that you can very easily use to print your own. And why do I use a database card? And I'm going to do an extensive focus training session on a database card. But on your phone, your client is part of many people. However, when I've got a database card in my hand, I can page through them and I can see, this client hasn't purchased in a while, or perfumes are on a promotion. I go to my client and I see it's been 3 months since she last purchased perfume, which will tell me that I can now target her in my promotion on my perfumes. So do look out on the session on how to use your database card in one of our next sessions. Now, packaging does matter. It really does matter. We've got the most beautiful packaging material available at Honey that you can order and pay at a fraction of the price. Maybe you want to double up with 2 or 3 other sales consultants in your area and order a bulk pack and then divide that up. But what I want to do is every time I deliver, I want to stand out. I do my thank you card on top of my parcel, which will contain my cell phone number. I also put a sticker with my name and number at the bottom of my shoebox or on the inside of my shoebox. I make sure that this person, first of all, wherever I walk into the area, they will notice me. I do a beautiful orange or a gold ribbon on top of my shoe boxes. And if I deliver shoes to a client, I will take 2 or 3 pairs of shoes and carry them in like I'll make a big show of it. I want people to notice. I mean, which woman is not going to be interested if somebody walks into the office with clearly 3 shoe boxes? Everybody wants to know. And then obviously what I will have together with my shoe boxes, I'll have my catalog in my handbag, I'll have my 2 order forms, and I'm immediately geared to hand a catalog out to the potential client that is now seeing me delivering my product. Why is it also important for me to deliver my product with flair, with a ribbon on it? Sometimes I use those plastic flowers. They just really look so pretty. The next client that looks at how she receives her honey parcel, and it's very often shoved into a plastic bag, most probably quite dirty, because I know some honeys really deliver their product as they receive it from the stock collection, like in that dirty old crumbled plastic bag. And she might then choose to shop with me. And remember, I'm here to stand out. I'm here to gather a client database that can help me to change my income. I'll always under-promise and over-deliver. Now, as a sales consultant, you are familiar with the cycle that you can collect your orders from your team leader. Now, let's say you always collect your orders on a Wednesday. I prefer to not tell my client that she'll get the orders on Thursdays. I rather will tell her on a Friday afternoon. That gives me a little bit of leeway time for in case the courier is late, for in case my leader has got a problem I can't collect. Maybe I've got a problem I can't collect. I've got those 2 days grace, which will not affect my client. However, I'm always trying to deliver as quick as possible. And that is why if you speak to any one of my clients, they will always tell you, I give a good service, I deliver very quickly. But in the meantime, it's because of this little trick that I have learned so many years ago. The last thing that I believe is very underused is the follow up call. Within a week after my client has received her order, I want to follow up and check and see, has she used her item? Did she wear it? And is she happy? Sometimes a client will tell me, you know what, I haven't had time to take my watch out. I haven't had time to put my earrings on. And then I want to remind her of my 28-day guarantee. And then if she chooses to keep that item in the box for say the next 3 weeks, her guarantee is running out. I have this conversation at that point because then later on I do not have tears. I believe if you are really building a strong bond with your client, you can have a client for life. This is for me also about putting my client first and not really pushing her for every rand that I can get out of her, but making sure that I give her a good service and that she chooses to shop with me. I thank you. I bless you. Until we chat again.